Welcome. Hi, my name is Rob McCurran. I'm a board member at the Cancer Support Community and an ER physician who's been practicing in the community for some time. We're here today to talk about the Cancer Support Community of Greater Ann Arbor and how it's making a difference in the lives of those that have been impacted by cancer right here in Ann Arbor and the surrounding community. I'd like to take a moment to introduce Anthony and Rosie and have you introduce yourselves and talk about your role at the Cancer Support Community.
Sure. Hi, my name is Rosie Ingebrigtsen. I'm the program director and an oncology social worker at the Cancer Support Community of Greater Ann Arbor.
My name is Anthony Beasley. I am a social worker in private practice, providing mental health therapy to folks in the area, and I'm also a support group facilitator at the Cancer Support Community.
Well, that's great. Thanks for being here. Rosie, can you tell me a little bit more about the Cancer Support Community in general? Absolutely.
So the Cancer Support Community is a local nonprofit here in Ann Arbor providing free support services to people with cancer and their families. These are any folks who've been impacted by cancer from the moment of diagnosis and throughout the rest of their lives. And that's patients, survivors, friends, family, and children. We've been here in Ann Arbor since 2007. We were founded by a group of community members, all of whom had been personally impacted by cancer in some way, enough to understand that true high-quality cancer care must include care for the whole family and include psychosocial support like what we offer. And I will tell you a little bit more about that. So we offer a wide variety of free programs at the Cancer Support Community. So there's sort of 5 central types of programs that we offer. Support groups, healthy lifestyle and stress management classes, so things like yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, and cooking, cooking and nutrition. We offer social events, so things that can help sort of just create some normalcy during the cancer experience, particularly for families. We do educational workshops, so we bring in community experts, maybe a physician. Today we just had a workshop on estate planning with an attorney. And then we also do resource referrals, so if someone needs a service that we don't provide, we'll do our best to help them find it in the community. Our programs, like I mentioned, are for anyone who's impacted by cancer in any way, and that includes kids. So our kids programs are for kids who have been diagnosed with cancer or kids who have a parent or loved one with cancer. Those include support groups. They actually have a healthy lifestyle class just for kids called Kids Kicking Cancer that helps with things like stress management and deep breathing and focus exercises. And then social programs, like I mentioned, things like movie nights and paint parties, things to just add some sense of normalcy while cancer's in the family. So we're located right on Hogback Road in Ann Arbor off 23, really convenient to get to, and it's in a space that feels like a home. It's very non-medical. You walk in, there's comfy couches everywhere, tea and coffee, and it really feels like a home away from home.
Great. Well, I agree, and that's a great description. Why don't we take a moment now to take a look at a clip of people talking about how the Cancer Support Community has been helping them, in their own words.
When you hear the words, "you have cancer,"
your world stops.
That your father has lymphoma, that your best friend is entering hospice care.
My wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
And my life just changed right there.
When cancer arrives in your life, it threatens to take over everything.
You still want to live your life. You don't want to be defined by this disease.
I am not my cancer. I am more than my cancer.
I am a sister.
I'm a mom.
I'm a musician.
I am a retired master sergeant.
And I'm an explorer of this world.
I was prepared to find the resources available to help me thrive and survive.
You find this place called the Cancer Support Community. They're not like anybody else. They're not a hospital, they're not a clinic.
I can live with, through, and beyond my cancer.
And I found that this support that I received from these people seeped into every aspect of my life.
The camaraderie we have in my support group, I just can't get that anywhere else.
It teaches you to be less afraid, more open.
Where I find knowledge that replaces my fear with fact.
They have programs that can help me strengthen my body, my mind, my soul, and my family.
The Cancer Support Community plays a very, very big role in that. They offer a lot of things for you to come in and redefine yourself.
When I was diagnosed, the cancer spread to my whole family.
CSC is truly a community that helps with the healing of all those affected by cancer. Friends and family are included, truly making this a full community.
So I am more than my cancer.
I am more than my cancer.
I am more than my cancer.
The cancer support community helped me and my family thrive, conquer, and live a full life.
They give you hope again.
Well, that was a really powerful video. Certainly makes me proud to be part of this organization. So, Rosie, I know there's been a lot of growth in the organization as far as services provided and programs that are offered. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So in the first year that we were open, so that was 2007, 2008, the cancer support community served about 180 people, and now we're serving over 800 per year. So, so really significant growth. In 2018, we served, I believe, 831, and we're still, we continue to grow every year. Part of our strategic plan as an organization is to grow by 10% every year, because we know there's pretty much an endless need for this type of services, right? So trying to make sure that we're serving our whole community as best we can is always front of mind for us. Part of our growth in the last few years has been through partnership with the St. Joseph Mercy Health System. We've actually added some programs off-site from the cancer support community in Brighton, Chelsea, and Canton at St. Joe's Cancer Centers there. So we're able to offer at each of those sites weekly yoga, quarterly educational workshops similar to the ones we provide in Ann Arbor, and then monthly support groups. So adding that has been really great in helping us provide services that are accessible to folks who might not be able to make the trip into Ann Arbor. Maybe they live half an hour to an hour away. So really it's helped us reach a broader community, and that's always a really important part of what we do.
Great. Well, why don't we talk a little bit more about the TBLGQ program and exactly what that's all about and what it stands for?
Sure. Well, the TBLGQ acronym stands for transgender, bisexual, lesbian, gay. Some folks may utilize the Q for queer, others use it for questioning. Just depends on how they're feeling. The reason we utilize that shift instead of the standard LGBTQ is to put in front the more marginalized communities within this rainbow or spectrum of identities. And so by placing transgender and bisexual in front of everything, it allows us to better identify the care or the things that they need within that community.
Very good, very good.
Brings them to the forefront.
And you're relatively new to the organization. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about what drew you to the cancer support community and getting involved with this program?
Absolutely. I actually have a vast history with cancer. Friends, family, recently lost my mother to multiple myeloma, and that's how I was connected with the cancer support community initially. I had reached out for support in grief and found a group there and just was absolutely drawn to their mission and what they do. And maybe I got an email actually from Rosie, and she was had invited me to apply an interview for this position. And I was a little worried because I didn't know if it would be a bad thing that I had some previous experience with the community, but it's proven to be a benefit. And it just feels really good to be there and to connect with others. And as a queer trans man of color, I think it's really important to be able to have an identity that's represented within the community, so that other people can see that, even as we have these identities, we still are all affected by cancer in some capacity. And that identity is just that. It's just an identity. So.
Very good. Rosie, can you tell us a little bit more about what led the organization to get involved with the TBLGQ program?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's an estimated 1 million TBLGQ cancer survivors in the U.S. And so that means there's even more TBLGQ loved ones and family members supporting or having lost a loved one to cancer. So we know that there's a need there. Unfortunately, the data isn't that great on folks' identities having been diagnosed with cancer. But there is increasing evidence that there's a need for extra support for these folks. TBLGQ individuals tend to carry a disproportionate burden from cancer. Certain cancers are actually more frequently diagnosed in TBLGQ folks. They're more likely to experience lower quality medical care or lower access to care than their straight cisgender counterparts. And so it's really important to provide not only the same support for these folks, but to actually provide additional support that really specifically meets the needs of that population. So at the Cancer Support Community in Ann Arbor, what we did was we started with a needs assessment, which is basically looking at both the literature around this topic, because everything we do at the Cancer Support Community is always grounded in scientific research and evidence, and then also looking at what's available in the community, what these needs are more nationally and globally, and what's available here in Ann Arbor. And so what we found was, while there are a lot of great support services for TBLGQ folks in general in Ann Arbor, there was a lack of cancer-specific TBLGQ support services. We consulted with some local experts. We looked at our budget, of course. That's always a consideration in the nonprofit setting. But ultimately, we decided that the need was really significant, and this was a priority for our community. So then we hired Anthony, and we started the group just 3 months ago, and it's been going great so far. We're really, really happy with how it's been going.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly one of the strengths of the organizations as to how we seek out opportunities in underserved communities and continue to expand programs, based upon those
Really
ideas.
important.
How do the support groups work in general? I mean, what would someone experience if they came in to be part of that?
Sure. So all of our support groups at the Cancer Support Community are grounded in what's called the patient active model, which basically means that folks who come to Cancer Support Community programs are taking an active role in their recovery. That may be a physical recovery, it might be a spiritual one or an emotional one, it might be some combination of the three, and also that our members are the experts in what they're going through. So when you walk into a Cancer Support Community support group, you come as you are, and you really are part of directing where the conversation goes. So I think when people picture a support group, they often imagine like a medical setting or something like they might have seen on TV. When you walk into a Cancer Support Community support group, it really feels like a conversation among friends in your friend's living room. It's really comfortable, but there is a professional facilitator, someone like Anthony, in the room who helps guide the conversation, make sure that we stay on topic, in terms of being cancer focused, to ask questions that add sort of depth and richness to the conversation, and to make sure that it's a safe space for everybody involved. But otherwise, the group members really are in charge of where the conversation goes, what's talked about in a given week. So it's a space to process what you need to process having to do with your cancer or your loved one's cancer.
Great description. Anthony, why don't we talk a little bit more about what someone would experience if they came to your group, to the TBLGQ program?
Yeah. Well, when you come in, we're gonna introduce ourselves to each other and get to kind of know each other. We learn each other's pronouns because that's respectful. We basically, like Rosie mentioned, we let the folks in the group lead the conversation, figure the topics that they'd like to talk about. We don't really have too many ground rules, other than the most important one is what's said here stays here, so that people feel safe in that space, and also that they know that when they come in there and they can share some things, that it's not going to be social media everywhere or anything like that. The other thing is that we kind of want to make sure that people understand too that we're there to support and talk about how cancer has affected our lives, or in that capacity, and we want to make sure that we're steering clear of maybe the political stuff and
Always a good
things
idea.
that
Not always easy.
well, yeah, but it's a great space and a great opportunity to just get to talk about how this has affected each and everybody's lives, and maybe we might get somebody who may join us maybe down the road. It's always an open door, so it's not like you got to sign up or anything. Come in, we'll reintroduce ourselves so that you feel like you're part of the family from the get-go. So.
And I'll just add too that the TBLGQ group is open to patients, survivors, and loved ones of folks diagnosed with cancer, identifying as TBLGQ.
Very good. And tell me again, how much does someone have to pay to go to these groups?
They're all free of charge. Everything at the Cancer Support Community is free of charge.
Yeah, it's important to
Absolutely.
get out there. So if someone sees this program or hears about it, how would they get involved? How would they find out about the group and get there?
Well, the TBLGQ group is a drop-in group. So if
Okay.
someone's interested in this group specifically, or a lot of our monthly and bi-monthly support groups, the short answer is just show up.
Okay.
So for the TBLGQ group, it meets on the third Thursday of every month
Okay.
from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So you'll walk in the door, you'll do a quick new member form, and then you'll walk into the room with Anthony and the other members. If you want to get involved with the cancer support community in general, there are a few different ways to do that. One is to come to a drop-in program like the TBLGQ group or another one of our support groups. All of our exercise classes are drop-in as well. You can just kind of walk on in. We also are always happy to have a new member meeting with anyone who wants to get involved in our community. So good chances are, you know, if you want to come in for your first time, you'd be meeting with me. So please feel free to call us.
Great.
Our number is 734-975-2500, and I think that'll show at the end as well. You can also visit our website, which is www.cancersupportannarbor.org. And that is a great way to see everything that we have available, all of our different free programs. A lot of people just drop in for things kind of when it's convenient. Others might come to a group every single week or once or twice a month. It's really sort of a menu of programs that you can choose what's the best fit for you.
Right. Yeah, it's a very inviting space when I go to board meetings or other, you know, committee meetings and things there. It always feels like you're walking to someone's home. There's food, there's cooking going on, there's people, you know,
Yeah.
just chatting and having a good time. It's a very relaxing and inviting environment. So what if someone's interested in just volunteering or helping the organization or getting involved in fundraising activities and that type of thing? Why don't we talk about that a little bit too?
Absolutely, great question. So if someone's interested in getting involved as a volunteer, they can go about it in a similar way. You know, you can feel free to stop by the center and see us, or go online at our website, which again is www.cancersupportannarbor.org. I'll probably say it a few more times here. You can also call us. Yeah, there are all different opportunities for volunteers at the cancer support community. So one thing that we almost always need is folks to answer the phones, greet members as they come in. I mean, usually if you walk in the door for the first time at the cancer support community, you're going to see the smiling face of one of our wonderful volunteers there to greet you. They answer phones and make coffee and just really they add so much to our organization. So we love to have those folks who are there on site with us. And then there's also opportunities for special event volunteering. You mentioned fundraising.
Yes.
We have a really great fundraiser coming up actually in April called The Amazing Race. So that is a really special event that we do once a year. That's a road rally scavenger hunt all over Ann Arbor. And we need lots and lots of hands for that. So as you know, so if anyone's interested in getting involved with that, certainly we could use the hands. So yeah, we love to hear from new volunteers.
Yeah, yeah. What about the other events you hold throughout the year as far as fundraising and just to let people know a little bit more about that?
Absolutely, yeah, sure. So in terms of fundraising events, our other big fundraiser is our charity beer garden during the football season. So that is a really special thing that we've just started doing in the last few years. Every game day, we host a charity beer garden right near the stadium. And then this isn't an event, but another really important part of our fundraising is the Brides Project, which is our social enterprise business, which is located on Plymouth Road. We have a full-service bridal boutique in which we collect and sell donated wedding gowns. So it's a really cool project. It adds some sustainability to the wedding industry, which is so important. Has an opportunity for brides to shop at deeply discounted rates for designer gowns, all of which have been donated, but a lot of which are new. So we get once loved, once worn gowns from individual brides, and we also get donations from shops, and they're all from the past 5 years. So it's a really, really cool project. So yeah, we're also always looking for donated gowns or anybody who is who's shopping for a wedding dress. The Brides Project is a really cool way to do that. So essentially, you buy an amazing designer gown, and every dollar comes right back to support the cancer support community's free services.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing all that.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been a great discussion about the programs and learning a little bit more about the cancer support community. I appreciate everyone, all that you've had to say, and for everyone joining us for this discussion.
Thanks for interviewing us.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
When you hear the words "you have cancer,"
Your world stops.
That your father has lymphoma, that your best friend is entering hospice care.
My wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
and my life just changed right there.
When cancer arrives in your life, it threatens to take over everything.
You still want to live your life. You don't want to be defined by this disease.
I am not my cancer. I am more than my cancer.
I am a sister.
I'm a mom.
I'm a musician,
I am a retired master sergeant.
and I'm an explorer of this world.
I was prepared to find the resources available to help me thrive and survive.
You find this place called the Cancer Support Community. They're not like anybody else. They're not a hospital, they're not a clinic.
I can live with, through, and beyond my cancer.
And I found that this support that I received from these people seeped into every aspect of my life.
The camaraderie we have in my support group, I just can't get that anywhere else.
It teaches you to be less afraid, more open.
Where I find knowledge that replaces my fear with fact.
They have programs that can help me strengthen my body, my mind, my soul, and my family.
The Cancer Support Community plays a very, very big role in that. They offer a lot of things for you to come in and redefine yourself.
When I was diagnosed, the cancer spread to my whole family.
CSC is truly a community that helps with the healing of all those affected by cancer. Friends and family are included, truly making this a full community.
So I am more than my cancer.
I am more than my cancer.
I am more than my cancer.
The Cancer Support Community helped me and my family thrive, conquer, and live a full life.
They give you hope again